Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been a couple months and I honestly didn't intend for it to be that long. I was going to take a month off just kind of with the holidays, and I really don't, I didn't want to post, and I don't know if this is for a selfish reason, but it's just like trends and patterns that I notice even though I'm not on social media. But usually around like New Year's, typically if there's like a holiday or something, online gets bombarded with a lot of like the same stuff. And I didn't want my message, and like I said, I hope this doesn't come across like in a selfish way, but I didn't want it to get lost in the midst of, all the 2020 things that were being said and 2020 vision and all of these things. I wanted it to, I just didn't want it to get lost. So that kind of delayed me a little bit because I intentionally wanted to wait till like mid-January. And then so much seemed to be happening out in the world. And then I got sick. So it's just been like one thing after another. And I actually just had to pause, and I had to take some time off work teaching because I was sick. And when I went back, I told my classes, like, just genuinely that, like, hey, if you got like we all got stuff going on, right? But where sometimes life just feels like it has just like knocked you down, and you have all these responsibilities, but it just almost feels like you can't catch your breath. And I really want my students, first and foremost, and I think they know, how much I genuinely want to see them succeed, and how much I care about them as a student in a professor student type relationship. But I told them to bring stuff to my attention if stuff is going on in life, because I get it. And it's just been an overwhelming, I guess, exhausting feeling, which I think a lot of people just didn't anticipate the new year starting that way. And so um, I hope, watching this video, you're in a place where things are kind of going smoothly and life doesn't just feel like it's overwhelming to you right now, because I get that. I get how life can just have you feeling like you just don't want to deal anymore. And I don't mean in an extreme way. I just mean in a way where you're just like, feel like you can't catch your breath. And so it was kind of bugging me because I couldn't come up with a topic for a while, but I think that was probably intentional. And so then it just hit me like it always does. And so my question to you is this: what is your anchor in your life? And I strongly believe that we should all have an anchor. And so what do I mean by an anchor? What does an anchor do for a boat or for a ship? I will never know exactly unless I'm on a big ship, because I get seasick like nobody's business. But I know what an anchor does, and it holds the ship down, right? So what is that thing or that person, or what's in your life that's holding you down? And when I say holding you down, I don't mean holding you back. I don't mean pulling you back, right? Because the wrong person or negative circumstance, that can pull you down, right? And what happens when you get pulled down? Obviously, if you're in a boat or a ship, you're going to sink. And so I think that's a great analogy for just like who we're dealing with and what we're dealing with in life. And I've done videos before, I've done one on discernment and who's around us and all of these things. But then it's kind of the flip of that. So and I'll share it with you. What holds me down is my faith. And I share that all the time, because I'm so serious about it. And I realize what works for me doesn't work for everyone else. But I really do believe if we are going to be the best version of ourselves and be successful and put ourselves in a position to where we're able to be intentional about striving for balance, then there has to be an anchor in our life. So many people are walking around life without something holding them down. And so what do I mean? It's that thing that you can go to. So when life starts getting hectic for me, first of all, most mornings, because nothing is ever, no, there's some days where I'm just exhausted in that bed. I sleep to the very last minute that I can get up. But most mornings I attempt to, I set my alarm 30 minutes prior to the time I actually need to be up getting ready. And that's my quiet time. And, whether that's meditation or whether that's, reading my Bible, whether that's reading a book, whether that's reading a devotional, whether it's just sitting and just gathering my thoughts, I need that time. I notice I struggle when I get up and I just go, right? And there's things to be done every day from the moment I set foot out of bed. And so I need something to be able to hold me down throughout the day. And so for me, it's been, my relationship with God, my word as in my Bible, that thing I can go back to, and it's constant and it's positive and it keeps me moving forward with the purpose that God has for me, right? And so not losing sight of what my channel is based off of. My mentoring group name is Fit for Your Purpose. And so, that's my hope and I was going to say goal, but it's not my goal, but that's my hope for so many people, is that they find what their purpose is. It makes a world of difference when you are living within your purpose. Takes some being intentional and trying to figure out what, where you're supposed to be. But when you realize that we all have a purpose on this God-given earth, then it's amazing how life can turn out. Is life perfect? Absolutely not. But every day with me doing a job teaching at 2 universities now, I come home, no matter how exhausted I am from, wearing my single mom hat, or how exhausted I am from just being busy in life, I can lay down my head at night and know that I'm fulfilling a purpose. And that is such a powerful, amazing feeling that I wish so many more people experience. So figure out what your anchor is. Again, it could be a person, but I will say that some characteristics need to be that it's positive. An anchor should not be negative. An anchor should not be weighing you down whatsoever. And somebody could say, well, that's what an anchor does. It weighs you down, but it doesn't pull you down, right? It's keeping you in place. It's keeping you from just drifting off. Hey, how about that analogy? I like that. That just came to me. It keeps you from just drifting off into the middle of the ocean or the sea and just being out there, like just trying to figure out what the heck is going on, right? We all need a place that we can come back to, that we're grounded in, that helps us have direction in life. So think about that. If you think about it and you're like, you know what, I don't even know what my anchor is, I have no idea, then I would strongly encourage you to find an anchor. Anchor should always be positive. If you find yourself surrounded by negativity, whether that's in the form of people or things or circumstances, we all, believe it or not, have control over what we accept and what we don't accept. And so those closest to me know that I don't accept negativity. I don't accept toxicity. I very much accept and welcome positivity. And that's not me walking through life naively thinking that everything is just going to be rainbows and puppy dogs, but I know what I have control over, and if not, then I navigate, and until I get to that point where I'm back to being balanced and centered. But my anchor, my faith for me, is that thing that always holds me down and makes sure, and it allows me to keep moving forward in a positive way. So I end this with that question: what is your anchor? I encourage you to find out what that thing is in your life. And again, if you don't have one, maybe that's your goal for 2020, is to figure out and to find and to implement an anchor into your life. All right, guys, that's it for today. I hope you guys have a great week or weekend. Today is the day before Valentine's Day, so I wish you a happy Valentine's Day. Don't be a Valentine's Day Scrooge. My students laugh at me because I joke about that in class, but there's a lot of Valentine's Day Scrooges walking around, but to each his own. So I wish you well, and I look forward to the next video.